Hi, I'm Adrienne from Blue Grouse Wine Cellars, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about a wine cellar project that we completed recently. It was in the Vancouver downtown area on Beach Avenue, and here's just a quick picture to orient you to the area so you can see how beautiful it is down there. We were working in a condominium building. The client, what they asked us to work with was their existing wine cellar or wine cabinet, shown in this picture here. What it was 3 separately temperature controlled cabinets, so one behind each of these doors. We're not really quite sure why it was designed that way, because one cooling system could definitely handle this space. In any case, they'd had this for a number of years, about 20 years, and were wanting to update their look, get properly working cooling equipment, and they also wanted to expand the size to accommodate their ever-growing collection. So we started by doing some designs for them, and we went through a few revisions and eventually ended up here with this design. These were drawings that we created so they could see in 3D exactly what they'd be getting and how it would fit the space. So as you can see, width-wise, it wasn't a whole lot different than what they started with, but the depth was greatly increased. There was some storage area behind the cellar that we stole space from. That used to be a bathroom before it was even the first wine cellar, so they had easy water connections for the cooling system. So just flipping through the drawings here, this would be the plan view, so top view, so you can see exactly how it lays out with all the measurements, and then the various elevations, A, B, and C, which we'll flip through here. So elevation A is the back wall. Behind this box or this cabinet here is where the cooling unit is housed, and you can see in this further stripped down view what the cooling unit looked like. It's kind of a large metal box with some flexible ducting coming off the top and connects to a fitting up here where the cold air blows out into the cellar. Where this grill is where the warm air comes back to the unit. The return air, it's a pretty sophisticated design, so they didn't have to have grills. There's a gap in the toe kick at the bottom here where it's open so that that air can feed back up to the cooling unit. It's got a shaker style door. They were looking for a pretty clean contemporary design, so you don't see any fancy moldings or anything here. They have some display shelves. These aren't full depth because, as you can see in this view, that the ducting is running up behind. So that's hiding the ducting but giving them some display space for some liquor bottles that they wanted to stand up. They've got LED lighting incorporated at the top to shine down and make that more of a display feature. They also have LED lighting over top of the display row for the individual bottle racking on either side of the cabinet. Looking to the next elevations, B and C are nears of each other because these are the two side walls. So they have some diamond bin storage here. This is for their bulk wine. So when a client has wines that are all the same, they can all those bottles can fit into the bins here. It maximizes your storage capacity. It wouldn't be as good of an idea to include too many of these if you're somebody who buys wine 1, 2 bottles at a time, because you wouldn't want a mix of bottles in here because getting to this one on the bottom could be quite tricky. We've got a display row running horizontally through the middle, so this carries through the perimeter of the room, so it's consistent. It has that nice LED lighting over top of the bottles to highlight them. And elevation D is the front wall of the cellar, which was full frameless glass. Now this isn't the most efficient way to build a wine cellar, but it can be done, and we took careful attention to make sure that the doors had really good seals around them so we didn't have air escaping or coming into the wine cellar that way. It's 12mm clear tempered glass. They've got some pull handles here on the front and some top and bottom mount pivot hinges. The cooling unit in here is a really powerful cooling unit. It could actually handle spaces up to 2,000 cubic feet, which is obviously a lot larger than this wine cellar was. But with this full frameless glass wall and no R value in the front, we do have to compensate for that. So the finished project looked like this. Just as you saw in the drawings, everything matches. That was what the racking was built from, the drawings. The installers followed the drawings, assembling this wine racking and finishing the wine cellar. All of the racking was made from walnut wood, a really high quality walnut wood without any knots, and then it had an oiled finish applied to it. So that kind of darkened the wood and gave it a richer look and feel. The shelves up here, these are glass shelves that were installed on brackets. So this is where the liquor bottles were displayed by the client. And then they've got some of their feature bottles highlighted in the display row here under the LED lighting. We'll just show you a few more pictures. This picture here shows you the full front glass wall. So you can see they've got some nice pull handles, pretty minimal in their appearance. Brush nickel to match the brush nickel patch hardware for the door hinges. We've got some horizontal display bottles right up against the glass. So that made a nice end cap to the racking, given that the side of the racking was going to be visible through the glass doors. You'll also notice LED pot lights, the general room lighting. LED is great because it doesn't emit heat inside the wine cellar. Here's a closer view of some of the lower wine racks. You can see here is where we've got the individual bottle slots, and over on the right side some open bins for bulk storage. The client had opted in some cases to take out the diagonal slats that further divide that bin. It actually helps increase the storage. Some clients will also even fit in some smaller wood cases by doing that. It's a close-up view of the handles that the client had selected. Again, in a brush nickel finish, and through here you can see a nice view of the display row. The display row does elevate the bottles a little bit on an angle, but they're only at about 15 degrees so that the corks still stay wet. That's proper wine storage positioning. You don't want bottles standing up any further than that, because otherwise your corks can dry out and contribute to oxidization. The final shot here of the bulk storage bins. Again, some where the client's taken out the diagonal slats. They've got a few wood cases, so there's some flexibility here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this wine cellar video. If you need some help with your wine cellar project, we offer full turnkey solutions, as we did for this client, actually building out and renovating that room, putting in the vapor barrier, insulation, lighting, electrical, plumbing. We did the whole thing. It was very easy for them. Or we can do bits and pieces if you're working with a contractor or you happen to be a builder that has some of those skills and can take care of some of the renovations yourself. Give us a call at 1-888-400-CORK. That's 1-888-400-2675. Or find us online at www.bluegrousewineCellars.com.